Hi, this is Rose from Jewelry Designs by Rose. Thank you so much for watching my channel. I hope you enjoy it. If you are new, please hit the subscribe. Today I'm going to show you a few different bracelets with memory wire, and I hope you enjoy it. Thanks! Today I'll be using this jewelry tube. It's a brown leather looking tube that goes over the wire. I will put a link to the wire in the description below so that you can purchase them. It's a very good cost for a large amount. For this project, I'm going to use 1 and about 1/4 length of a hoop to make this project. I'm going to put 1 check glass bead in the middle. And so I'm going to use my memory wire cutters to cut this, and I was just stretching it out so that it stays open and it doesn't, get kinked up while I'm trying to put the beads on. Just kind of helps to make it easier to put on the check glass bead. You definitely will need to stretch it out when to put on the check glass bead so that it doesn't break the glass. These are the pliers that you want to use. So I'm just going to put these back in the bag, keep them nice and neat, and keep them from tarnishing. And then this is the check glass bead that I'm using. And I'm just going to put it around halfway mark of the 2 wires. So I'm going to put it right in the center of the 2. And again, be very careful when you put this on, because if you don't, you could break the glass. This hole on this particular bead was a little small and I didn't want to push it. And so I'm trying to do a different check glass flower bead. This is a green one instead. But you just want to gently push it on and just be very, very careful until you get it to that center mark. This one worked okay. So this is the flower bead that I'm going to use. It's a pretty check glass green flower bead, and it's a really good size. It's okay if it moves around. It's not going to affect it in any way. And then now what I'm going to do is measure the distance between the bead. Oh, actually, I'm going to put the spacer beads on first that I want on the sides of the check glass. And I'm just using the bargain bead box spacer beads on this. I'm going to use jewelry too. This will go over the wire, and I'm going to put it to about 1/4 mark around the hoop, but leave a little bit of room for the bead. I'm going to put another green check glass bead and 2 flower spacer beads, silver color, silver tone, in between each quarter. So there's going to be one on the right, one on the left. And so what I'm going to do is I just measured out the space I need. And I'm going to do that 4 times so that I'll have the jewelry tube on each side twice. And then I'm going to put some other beads on at the end, and I'm going to probably add a couple of cute hearts to hang off. So I'm just measuring out each piece so that it's as even as it can be. It doesn't have to be perfect, but you could do it, relatively close. And after that, then I'm gonna go ahead and put those on, and it will help keep the check glass bead in place as well as I'm trying to put on the other beads. So here I'm just sliding on those pieces, and as you can see, it already looks really, really nice. So I decided to add some square crystal clear beads. They are Chinese crystal square beads. Really, really cute. I like this look. And then I added 2 silver tone flower beads on the side of each one of those. As you can see, I should have put the brown tube on it after one side so that way it held it on place. It would make it a lot easier. So when you do it, if you like this pattern, always put on the jewelry tube afterwards so that it holds one side in place, and then do the other side. So I'm just basically going to cut a small piece of the jewelry tube to put on each side at the end, but I'm going to leave enough space to make a loop at the end to hold everything in place. So I measured out, I needed a little bit longer piece, so I need to measure out two slightly larger pieces. You only need a small amount at the end to make the loop. And so I'm just making a loop at the end. It doesn't have to be that big, just enough to, hang a charm at the end on both sides. And so I'm just making a circle. I'm turning it outwards so that it's not facing in towards your wrist when you put it on. And basically putting it as close to the cover, to the wire cover as possible. You want it to be closed just like any other, earring or item that you're making. You want to make sure that the loop is completely closed so that you could put on a charm or something like that at the end and it won't fall off. So that's what I'm doing here. If you don't want to put on a charm, you don't have to put on a charm. I would suggest making the cover, the brown jewelry tube longer and just making an even smaller end. And you don't have to make a circle. You could just bend it over and just fold it in half just to make a flat piece at the end so nothing comes off. You could also use an end cap. I've seen a lot of people use end caps on these type of bracelets, so you could also use a cap as well. Totally up to you, whatever you prefer. Okay, so now that I've finished putting on the flower beads, I'm now going to make some end pieces here, some dangles to put on the end. So first you're going to need some small head pins and then some spacer beads and whatever bead, small bead that you want to add to the end. I'm going to use a flower bead for this. Okay, so I'm putting on the crystal bead. It's a clear flower bead, and I could make it with just this bead. There's a problem with the drilling of the hole in this bead. It's not all the way through, so I'm gonna have to get another bead. But I think that it would look better with some silver beads, and so I'm gonna have some sterling silver beads. So I'm gonna go ahead and put some sterling silver beads on each side. So let me show you that. And I think it just makes the flower bead, the crystal flower bead, stand out just a little bit more. Looks really pretty that way. Of course, if you have another silver bead, if it's a metal bead that's a flower, or you have some other kind of metal bead that you want to add, a star or anything like that, you could just add that as well with the jump ring. But I didn't have anything like that, so I am just creating a really quick dangle. So I'm just I bent back the wire and then cut off just a small amount, and then I'm just going to use my round nose pliers to create the circle. And then after you create the circle, you go ahead and bend it to the other direction to open it up and put it on the bracelet. And I'm going to do the same exact style for the other side, just because I don't want to put a different color that maybe not matching the flower beads, and I think the white kind of goes really nicely. It's kind of a frosted white color. So I put this on one side, and they kind of passed each other a little bit, which I like. They kind of hang right over the crystal, near the crystal bead, the square crystal bead that I put on, so that makes it look really cute as well. So I've created the one. As you can see, it looks really cute. And now I'm going to create the other one. so now you can see the cute flower dangles and the crystal beads on the end. So looks really cute on both sides. You can either put this on the top or on the bottom, either one, and it looks really cute. Okay, in this next project, I'm going to be using the jewelry tube. It looks like the brown leather, and I'm going to cut it in pieces and put it around some gemstone beads that I have. They are pink tourmaline. This is the jewelry tube by the Beadsmith, and as you can see, it looks like a brown leather, and it's a tubing that will go over the memory wire. And I've already started it here so that you don't have to sit through the whole entire thing. I'm basically using 5 small tourmaline faceted gemstones. Okay, so here I'm just putting on the last bead, and I'm going to cut a little of the wire off of the end using, again, the proper pliers. You want to use the cutters that are meant for this particular wire. And then after that, we're going to use the round nose pliers. Just make a nice little loop at the end, kind of outwards. And I just need a small loop, so I just need a little bit of wire at the end, not too much. It's going to do that. You just turn it inwards. And that loop is kind of big, so it doesn't need to be quite that big. And I'm just turning a little bit to the side, so you could probably make it a little bit shorter wire and a little bit smaller hole than what I'm making here. Just depends on what you're going to put on the end too. You could put more than, one little tassel or something. You could put 2 or 3 things if you wanted to as well. And then, as you can see, I'm just cutting it off a little bit because it is kind of too big. So You could just adjust it as you need it and then close it back up. And then once I'm done with this, I'm going to go ahead and add a couple of cute silver and crystal heart little dangles that I have. I've been wanting to use them for quite some time and wasn't sure what to use them on, so this is a perfect little thing. I like small dangles. Some people like larger dangles, but I don't like to have too many things hanging off of my bracelet. So it's to, each his own, whatever you feel like, whatever you like to have. So here's the bracelet, and then I'm going to go ahead and add the dangles. Okay, so I have some jump rings here. So I'm just going to open them, and you just want to make sure that these are the hearts and they have a closed jump ring on them. So you could do one of two things. You can use a jump ring, or you could just open the ends of these, and you really want to turn them from side to side and not like from the circle, because otherwise you could break the ends or it just won't go back even. And that's kind of what I did here, and it's just going to make it a little more difficult to make sure that it's completely closed. So you just want to make sure to put those on and that it closes very well so they don't come off.